One of the things that define us as Africans is our way of life, which is communal living. Now, this is one thing that makes us different from other, people of the world. Okay, Africans are known to be communal in nature. We have always believed in doing things together rather than an individualistic way of life. Okay, so to the average African, we don't exist alone. We depend on one another for one or two things. Okay, we've always had this communal and familial mindset. So as far as the average African is concerned, we need each other. Now that's basically what makes us Africans. Now, if you take a look at today's world, a whole lot is changing about us Africans. And one of those things that are changing is the fact that we are no longer the communal kind of people that we once were. So nowadays you see people living individualistically. Back in the day, it used to be a responsibility of the public to raise a child. But nowadays you have situations where, every family is just concerned and preoccupied with their own personal affairs alone. You could see somebody going astray, see a child going astray, and you look the other way. That is not our way of life. How did we get to this point? And that's exactly what we're going to be discussing today on FLIPSIDE on Independent Television, reaching you live from the city of Benin. Now, FLIPSIDE, for those who are just joining us for the first time, is a unique show that pinpoints major issues in the society, pressing issues that affect us as a people, social, cultural issues. It comes your way every Wednesday from 1:30 till 2 o'clock. My name is Harry Aigbo J, and of course, it's always a pleasure to have you join me on the show. Now, today, I'm not alone. I've got a longtime friend, someone who has really not been on board for quite a while. He's been away for a long time, but I'm glad he's back here now. He's a public affairs analyst, and he's someone who has so much to say when it comes to our identity as Africans. He goes by the name of Omorugbe Edosere. Welcome on board, sir.
Thank you so much. Nice being here.
It's nice to have you on the show.
Same here.
All right, so we have a very interesting topic today. The declining culture of communal living in the African society. Now, in opening, I said that one of the things that define us as Africans is our communal mindset as against the individualistic way of doing things. The Western society is not exactly like us.
True.
Okay, in the West, you could see something going wrong and just, decide to mind your business because of what it might lead to. Right? You could get in trouble just trying to look out for someone. Mm-hmm. As far as the law is concerned, you are trespassing. So the law comes first before humanity, so to speak. But in Africa, it's a different ballgame entirely. It's everybody, one person's business is everybody's business, or should I say was everybody's business. But today, it seems to be a different ballgame because, everyone seems to be moving, in the direction of individualistic living. What do you think is responsible for this? Let's begin from there.
Yeah, thank you. What I think is responsible is the fact that the Western culture has gradually crept in, and many Africans have started to adopt the Western culture of doing things, and that has made the communal way we live as Africans to be neglected. So you don't find that again, because before now, if you see two persons fighting, you are that innate part of you. In fact, in you, you just have to run and stop it and find out what happened and ensure that they are okay and that they settle in that instant and become friends, and everybody goes their separate ways. Yeah. But now it is not like that anymore, And there are several things in the Western culture. When you have parents who are aged, it's actually from them we hear the term elderly people's home. We've never had that in
it's
Africa.
Alien to us.
It's very alien to us. We have our grandparents who become resource persons for the family. They become like libraries. Our children can go to hear stories, stories from, learn things from, know history. You could get historical information that are not written in several books from our grandparents, from their one-on-one experience that they had.
From their wealth of knowledge.
And from the same information passed down to them from their forefathers. So we had this rich relationship with our grandparents, great-grandparents, and we celebrated them.
And
Unlike
with all the other elderly people as well, I
yes,
guess.
with all elderly people, you know, they also had their own age group, because every age group comes and advances. We had that, but now the Western culture do not have that. They don't have that. They don't look out for one another like we do in Africa. They don't.
All right, thank you so much, Omorugbe. That was a very good way to kickstart. Well, in case you just joined us, it's Flipside on Independent Television. Now, I have another guest joining me, but that will be right after this break. Please stay tuned. All right, welcome back. It's still Flipside on Independent Television, and we have joining us right now someone who happens to be a public affairs analyst as well, and of course, a historian. He goes by the name of Mr. Foster Iyamu. Welcome on board, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Harry.
Good afternoon, sir. All right, so we are discussing the declining culture of communal living in the African society. So, what does communal living mean to you within the context of African society?
Before I talk of communal living, we have to first of all look at the word communal. What does the word communal mean? Communal as a word is gotten from a Latin word called communis,
Okay.
which in English means common. So, when you are now talking of communal, it best describes the things used or shared by members of a group of people. Therefore, communal living entails the sharing of living space, sharing of resources, as well as collective responsibilities in a given community.
Okay.
And communal living transcends individual interests. Rather, it prioritizes collective interest of the community, such that everybody puts hands together for moving the community, towards moving the community forward.
Okay.
What happens to one happens to all.
Another.
The business of one is the business of all.
So it's all for one and one for all.
Yeah, all for one for all. That is why those days, I remember when we were growing up, still in the primary school in those days, you come back from school, your parents are not at home. Your next neighbor or the next neighbor to your parents will take you in, to the extent of even giving you food to eat.
While you await the return
Where
of your parents.
you are with the return of your parents. It becomes the responsibility of that neighbor to look after you in the absence of your parents.
Very true.
But today it is not like that. It's a different ballgame. So that is what community living entails in the African context.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Foster. Now, how did communal living shape our mindset or shape our identity as Africans in the pre-colonial times, Mr. Omorugbe?
It gave us a very good sense of belonging. We had a lot of confidence in the way we do things. We achieved a lot of things as at then. We had better crops, we had good farmlands, we had workforce, we had, our social life was very balanced as at then. We have things that we pride in. Things that we pride in. Like we talked about when you have age groups, every member of the community is part of an age group.
Okay.
You get to a particular age, you are welcomed into that age group. It is something you look forward to. It is celebrated. It's a thing of joy and pride. I saw pictures of my own father the day he did his own. It's a thing of joy. We had that. And that helped us have this synergy that there was safety in the village, in the community. If there's anything that happens to someone, he has gone to the village, he has not come back, there are specific parts of the community, the youths, Igbama, that will go out to look for that person, to ensure that
More
that
like
person,
a search team.
Yes, a search team. It was well structured, very, very structured. Like I said, then in some parts of the East, most parts of the East, there are age groups that will come together. Once you are of age and you are now in that age group, they will all come together to build you a house. It's a culture there. Once you are at a certain age, the other age group members will come and build a house free of charge. You also will be part of building for someone else that becomes of age. So you could see how beautiful that is.
And this would in turn aid development.
Of course. So it means every youth in that community that has come to that certain age group has a house that was gotten effortlessly with joy. It is something they did with joy.
Okay.
So that will bring development to such a community and confidence in everything that they do in that community.
All right, so what roles, I'm asking you this now, Mr. Foster, what roles did extended families play in sustaining communal values? Because one of the things that define us as Africans are our values.
Yeah.
The things we hold dear, you know, our morals, the things that, you know, set us apart from other people of the world, okay? There are certain things that, you know, Africans are known for. For example, there are certain things that are allowed in the Western world, but here in Africa, it's a different ballgame. They are not allowed. Yeah. So how did extended families, you know, what role did extended families play in sustaining these values?
First of all, in the African setting, as far as I know, we had nothing like extended families. We saw ourselves as one.
Okay. I mean, extended families as against in the nuclear family that has to do with, you know,
yes,
father, mother,
I understand what you're talking about. Like, for example, my father's brother's children, we don't refer to them as our cousins.
True.
In the African setting, we hadn't any word for cousins.
Okay.
It is my brother or my sister. The highest you can do is to say, oh, my brother's son or my brother's daughter.
That's
or my,
when trying to be specific.
Yes, just like that. Otherwise, we had brothers and sisters that we called ourselves.
Very true. Oteme.
So whatever we are doing, it's for the interest of the general family at large, not for that particular nuclear family.
True.
Okay.
Like for example, I stayed with my maternal grandparents for a period of 10 years. So I didn't see it as if I was living with my grandparents. I saw it as if I was living with my grandparents. And people in the area saw me as the last child of my grandparents. And meanwhile, I was a grandchild to them.
Very true.
So, and I learned from them. Most of the things I know today, I learned from my paternal and my maternal grandparents. So, when you are talking of extended families, like I said before, we never had such a word to describe any member of our family. We are all one.
A family.
We are a family. That is why you see, those days when we are living in a communal lifestyle, if a particular family is not doing well, you see some members of the so-called extended family now can pick 1 or 2 children from that family to train them up, raise them
like their own,
for their parents. But today, it's a different ballgame.
Okay, I would like to ask you this, Mr. Morugbe. Do you think, just like the scripture says, that the love of many has waxed cold? Is it that the love that used to exist amongst family members in the days of old are no longer, it's no longer there? Is it that family members no longer care so much about one another like they used to do? Because it seems like there's a paradigm shift from the norm in those days to what we have today. Nowadays, I can't even imagine a family member or an extended family taking up the responsibility of raising a child belonging to maybe one of the siblings. So what do you think is responsible for this?
I think a lot of things is responsible. There's been insincerity has crept in, segregation. This child is not my direct child. It's my brother's child, but it's not my direct child. And when we are planning for my children, I don't plan for that particular child as I would have done if it was my own child. As it was in the time, like he was saying, it is true. That has made things difficult. Then the issue of certain evils creeping in that now makes some people to refrain or restrain themselves from allowing their children go with their loved ones to assist them. That too has also hindered and harmed the process. Because nowadays, like he said, you go to the farm and your children comes there's someone to take them in and feed them. But now, there is a new norm to say, when you go out to your children, when you are teaching or training them, you call it training now, you don't eat everywhere. Whatever they give you, bring, and you let me know, and you don't touch it. So these things have come in. Insincerity, certain evils, certain wrongs that happened, no forgiveness and stuff like that has made it difficult for children to freely go visit, even stay during holidays. Before now, like he said, you could go visit grandparents, take your children to meet them during the holidays, and they stay there, they learn a lot of things. And in schools, they were asked to write about their holidays, and you see them writing about the beautiful times they had with their grandparents. It was fun to read those stories. But now, I doubt if you have such. I doubt. So it's very difficult now to take. There's a story we had before of a girl that I don't know if it was the middle belt or not, that she was being taken from the parents to assist her for school, and sometimes happened.
Yes.
So anyone who hears that now becomes more cautious to release his or her child.
Okay.
Because of what they've heard. So these issues that have started to creep in has made it difficult for that. So everyone now has resorted to survival mode. Let me protect my own at all costs and ensure no harm comes to my own.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Morugbe. Now, I would like to ask you this, Mr. Foster. Do you think Western education has a role to play in this?
Yes. Western education has a role to play in that before the advent of the Europeans in this part of Africa, we had our own, I would call it formal education, because we were tutored by our parents, by our neighbors, and the environment we grew up in.
Did you call that formal education or informal?
I would call it a formal education because it was our own system of education. So the white man's education to me cannot supersede my own system of education because I learned so many things from my own system of education while growing up. So before this time, we were self-sufficient.
Very true.
Whatever we have, we take it and appreciate it. But when the Western education came, it now transcended to the pursuit of careers. Certificates. I want to be identified that yes, I have so-and-so certificate. I'm in so-and-so position. But before the Western education, it was not like that. We were mostly on equal basis. Why? There was a ground for that because we were an agrarian society. And don't forget, it was the discovery of agriculture that led to tribes coming together to come and form communities. You understand? So from there, industrial revolution came. Then colonialism came because of the raw materials the white man they needed for their industries. From there, they brought their...
I guess that was how the Berlin Conference came about.
Yes, the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1895 had to do with the partitioning of Africa, whereby various colonial groups will not interfere with the activities of other boundaries that their neighbors are colonizing. You understand? So Western education has done a lot. And even today, just look at us. You see somebody now, we proudly tell you that he cannot speak his own language with pride. But the person will tell you that he or she can speak English very well. Some of us will be speaking English. The Englishman will keep the dictionary close to him or her, close to him to know what the person is saying.
True.
You know, we started pursuing careers and neglecting our own way of life. I've always told people, whether we like it or not, even if you go and reside in a white man's land, you give birth to your children there, there is one thing that you always have, you should have at the back of your mind. A time will come, they will refer to your child, an American or a Briton with a Nigerian what? Descent. If it is so long, they will say a Nigerian ancestry. They will still refer back to your roots.
Okay.
Western education has done good for us. It has also done a lot of evil to our society.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Foster. I actually do like the direction you took us in, because, you know, it's hard to see Western education in that light, because it's, to us, the best thing that has happened to us since sliced bread, right? But, you know, the fact that it seems to have stolen our identity from us, to the point where we now want to identify with, you know, the white people much more than we identify with our roots.
Yes.
Is a problem in itself. Well, it's still Flipside on independent television, and we're discussing the decline of communal living in African society. We shall be going on another break. The program continues afterwards. Please stay tuned. All right, welcome back. It's still Flipside on independent television. We're discussing the decline of communal living in African societies. Now, there's this burning question that I would like to pose to you, Mr. Edosiri. How has, you know, should I call it economic hardship now, affected people's willingness to support communal living in Africa? Because you made mention earlier of how societies in those days, or should I say families in those days, didn't care much about individualistic, you know, should I say parenting.
Yes.
The family, an extended family could just see a particular member of the family belonging to maybe one of theirs and decide to, you know, train them in school or, you know, sponsor them through anything. But nowadays it's a different ballgame. Don't you think that has a whole lot to do with economic hardship?
Of course it does. When you can't afford to raise your own children comfortably, you can't add to it, even though you may have the heart to want to assist.
Yeah.
If the economic hardship is so much that you can't afford 3 square meters, you won't be willing to bring someone's child to add to. Because now you cut your coat according to your cloth, not the size anymore. So it has a lot to do with it.
Okay.
It has a lot to do with it.
But what do you think is the factor responsible for that? Do you think it has anything to do with colonialism or westernization?
Yes, I think it has to do with both of them, because before we were colonized, we were self-sufficient. We had everything going smoothly for us. We had a trade by barter, where you farm certain crops, I do, and then we meet at a particular day where we exchange this, and we had methods for exchanging this. And it worked very well for us. But the introduction of cash became an issue.
Okay.
Paper notes that are printed, not even gold per se, but paper notes that are printed. So everyone's attention is now.
But don't you think that in a way has aided transactions, like trade? Because now we have definite means of exchange. But you know, in those days it was, I don't know, did we actually have definite means of exchange? Like, you know, I want something that you have, and you want something that I have, but they are not equal in value.
No, they value them.
Okay.
Before the exchange is
made.
Okay. So whatever you are going to exchange with me must have the same value as what you are going to collect from me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that understanding was there.
Was there a way to ascertain, you know, the value of each commodity?
Yes. Like when I was reading an article on the Punic War between the Romans and the Carthaginians. They reside along the sea coast, the Mediterranean sea coast. Yeah. You know, so when the Romans will come with their goods, they will drop them on the seashore. Then the Carthaginians will now come out and put their own goods alongside
side by side.
That of the Romans. The Romans will come and weigh them. If they are not proportionate to what they brought, they will go back to their ship. Then the Carthaginians will come and add to it until the Romans now collect them it means
It's balanced.
it is balanced. So that understanding was there.
Yes.
Okay.
So whatever we went through as communal societies those days, even the white men, they went through them as well. Otherwise, where did the word communal come from?
It's a Western word.
Anything that does not exist does not have a name.
True.
True.
So if communalism or communal living did not exist in the Western world before this, our modern day society, the word communal wouldn't have been there.
Sure.
Talk more of adding living, attaching living to it.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Foster. Now, I would like to ask you this, of course, still in line with the question I asked earlier. Has migration affected us in any way? Because nowadays we have lots of Africans jetting out of the shores of the country for greener pastures. Now, some of these people come back with the mindset of the Westerners. Okay, so do you think this also has a role to play in it?
Yes. Now, migration in the first place has both affected us positively and negatively. Let me first of all address the positive side. Migration is one of the essence of our modern day development,
Sure.
both infrastructurally and technologically. Because if you go to this area those days, they were not part of Benin City.
True.
Oh, really?
Yes, Iguosa happens to be a village of its own. Even Uselu happens to be a village of its own.
Outside the moat.
From 5 Junction upwards, that is where you call Benin. From 5 Junction down to this way, they are villages of their own.
Very
Wow.
true.
Autonomous villages.
Autonomous villages, but paying homage
to
to the Oba of Benin.
Palace, okay.
You understand? So you see the kind of houses we now, modern day houses, we now find in Iguosa now. So as a result of those that migrated out of the country, let me put it that way, to come and redefine the kind of structures that we are now seeing.
Yes.
But negatively, those that are supposed to impact our societies positively with what they have in them, they are all using them in the white man's land. And at the end of the day, when they now become old and useless to the society, they want to return back home.
And by then it's
To
almost too
impart
late.
us with what? Nothing. So migration has done a lot for us. Like I said before, both positively and negatively. If you go to look at the way doctors, our medical doctors, they are migrating from this country.
Doing so well.
Brain
Like,
drain.
like one of my friends, I even said it this morning, who was a professor, a full-fledged professor in University of Benin. About 3 years ago, himself and his family, they relocated to Canada, living with the knowledge,
Yes. Wealth of knowledge.
The wealth.
the wealth of knowledge he has with him to go and impart those knowledge on the Canadians
Brain drain.
instead of Nigerians. Then look at doctors as well. At the time, the chairman of doctors in UBTH, he happened to be my set mate at Adolo College. He migrated to Canada as well. Today, doctors are crying. Hospitals are crying.
Yeah,
shortage
lack of-
shortage of doctors.
So in a nutshell, you are examining the positive and negative side of
Yes,
migration.
side by side.
Okay.
Very possible.
That is why you see today now, instead of doctors to attend to you immediately, even if it's a case of emergency, they will start
Left
using what is called a delay tactics because there are no doctors on ground. You see somebody going outside to start making calls that they have an emergency. But before now, it was not like that.
Like consultants on ground.
Yeah, consultants on ground. I remember when I broke my leg in 1985. I was in class 2 in the secondary school. They rushed me to UBTH. They took me to the casualty section. Before you knew it, doctors and nurses, they were all around me.
Rallied around you.
You know. So
All right, that's actually something that calls for serious concern,
Yes.
because if this continues, only God knows what the future holds for us. Now let's examine the role of should I say, the erosion of communal living affected the care for elderly and vulnerable. He made mention of elderly people's homes, how that, you know, the fact that we no longer have the interest of one another at heart is now beginning to tell on the elderly ones amongst us. You know, in those days, when a person grows to a certain age, you know, just the same way it is with a child, he or she becomes the responsibility of, you know, everyone. And then I think in Benin we'll say EA and all of them. But nowadays it seems like we barely even have respect or have regard for, you know, elderly people anymore. And elderly people are sole responsibilities of their children. Whereas there are people around who could also, you know, be of help in taking care of them, but they barely care. Why do you think that is?
It's still the same Western influence. Because it was a thing of joy where we had, in fact, we had grandparents who lived longer, 90, 110, 120 years. And it was a thing of joy to go visit them when you were not in school. And they always had relatives around them. Always had relatives around them. There were never times where grandparents, these are EAs and grandfathers, were alone in the house. There was always a nephew, a cousin, a grandchild, great-grandchild that was always with them. There were even some that were assigned to them to ensure that anywhere they would need to go to, it goes with them. So either when they want to go to the market, it's carrying the bag and following the EA. You know, we had that well and good. But now with this Western influence, most people don't go to visit their parents anymore, their grandparents, they just leave them there. And you see them alone. And then, if you move around Benin, in some places you see some elderly people's home now. We never had this before. So, but now it means people are so now, some people are now tired of their grandparents that they rather would just put them in a home, like they see from the western part, and then send money and leave them. No. There were times they would tell our children stories. There are times they would caution us. They would talk about certain things about the tradition and culture and tell you, oh, no, this is the way this should be done. You meet them as libraries. They had wealth of information they will pass to you, and they will let you know certain information. I had an uncle that could tell almost everybody's age and the scenario regarding their births, the day they gave birth to them, was it on a sunny day, was it in the afternoon? He knew this information, and it helps us. It helped us. Now that he has passed on, we don't even know at times who is senior to who.
Yes.
And there's nobody to tell us that.
No.
So it has not helped us in that light at all. We had a rich culture, a rich family value amongst ourselves as a whole family, not as this one brother, like he said. It was seen as a whole big family. And then when that family name is mentioned, everybody can identify as, oh, okay, this guy is from this family. And they know the strength of that family. And that's how it is seen. It is not said that, oh, he's the son of this, of that family. No. It's just, okay, he's from this family. So that's the way it is. So I wish we could have that again. We start rebuilding it. And even our grandparents then would teach our children better ways to speak this language, deep ways, deep parts of the language. Communicating. And that has helped a lot. When they see or they travel or they're in their space, they could communicate better.
Okay.
Yes, they could communicate better. Not like now that, like he said, some can't even speak the basis. And yet, when we need to travel to Germany, you have to go and learn their language.
Yes.
If you don't, you are at a loss.
You are totally lost.
Yes, you have to learn their languages, and if you don't do well, they don't even regard you. You know, and we have our own, but.
Anyways, it's still FLIPSIDE on independent television, and we're taking a look at the declining culture of communal living in African societies. Now, we shall be going on our final break, and when we return, it will be time to wrap things up on the program. Please stay tuned. All right, it's still FLIPSIDE on independent television, and this right here is the final lap of the show. Now, I saw a video, Mr. Foster, on social media, a pretty disturbing video of a child that was, I think, that the child was crawling towards the road, and there were adults around him. You know, they were just so engrossed in their gadgets, you know, pressing their phones and, you know, surfing the net and all of that. And not even one of them noticed that the child was crawling right, you know, beyond their reach. Now, I think at some point, one of them just got, I think just decided to stretch for a bit and then noticed that the child was crawling towards the road, and, she quickly ran towards the child and rescued the child from crawling into the road. Now, that is a typical example of what we're saying. And some persons have described the internet as a Trojan horse, something that came with lots of goodies on the surface, but, beyond the surface, some vices. So the question is, what has the social media got to do with this? How has the social media affected, communal living?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. The social media is a means that helps to transmit information faster than it used to be. And alongside the social media, alongside information, there are some other things attached to it. Not everything that we see in the social media are factual. Some persons can just come with one idea and put it on the social media or talk about it on social media, and many people will now try to adopt it. Social media has become a source of a kind of advisor to many of the young ones that we have today. And that is why things are going wrong in our society. Now, those days, there is a saying in Benin that says, Ori evabiomo. What does this mean? It means it is two people that gives birth to a child. That is the father and the mother. But it is the community that takes care of that child. Because whenever that child is going astray, when the parents are not there, or is going to miss his route, when the parents are not there. I remember as a child, we went to a church program. I did not know how my hands slipped from that of my mother, and the place was crowded. Do you know, a man now picked me up and put me on his shoulders. That was how, when my mother was now looking for me, she turned back and she saw me.
Saw you
easily
because on someone's shoulder.
Yes, because the man knew that I have lost touch with my parents.
Yeah.
So he had to put me on his shoulders. But today, does it happen like that? If maybe the man was busy using his telephone,
he couldn't have noticed you.
He couldn't have noticed me at all, as well as others too. Just like you said, a child was crawling to the road, and they were some persons, they were busy with their telephones or what have you. The one that went to pick that child up still has a sense of awareness in her. Otherwise, that child could have
been killed,
crawled to the road and maybe crushed by a vehicle. You know. Now, look at it. Even the white man that invented these gadgets that we are using, they don't abuse them the way we abuse them. If you look at the number of accidents that happen on our roads, some of them are caused by those pressing their telephones while driving. I happen to know a girl who is now in UK now. Though she was not driving, she was a passenger in a vehicle. 7 of them occupied that vehicle. 5 passengers. I mean, yes, 7 of them. 6 passengers and the driver. Could you believe she was at the front when the accident happened? The 6 of them died. She was the only one that survived.
Wow.
And she didn't even know how the accident happened. Why? She was busy pressing her phone. So you will say that when you are driving, you see somebody will be driving as well. The phone to the ears and one hand on the steering. You have lost concentration in your driving.
Divided.
Then you see now, I was watching a video. I didn't finish watching it. Somebody came on social media. Oh, my husband did this. My husband did that. In the Western world, it is not like this. I will do this. I will do that. And you see our women copying those things,
sharing her own,
forgetting that we do not live in the same environment with the white persons or wherever that thing is happening. Even we within ourselves as Africans, we still have our own various ways of doing things.
Very true.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Foster, for that very brilliant one. Okay, as we begin to wrap up now, I'd like to ask you this, Mr. Morugwe, in less than a minute, because we actually do not have much time left. Do you think there is hope for us as a people, as far as communal living is concerned, or you think there's nothing that can be done about it again?
I don't think, personally, I don't think there is hope. I think we are gradually phasing that part away, because there are a lot of things that have happened that trying to correct them now will take a whole lot of time. And the attention of a lot of persons is towards this Western culture and Western way of living and doing things. So it's going to be very, very difficult. But I think, I don't think there's, I don't.
Well, I like your bluntness. What do you think, Mr. Foster, as we wrap up?
Well, I concur with him, because we are now subsumed in individualism.
True.
Rather than...
So you think we've gone too far to
yes, we have
retrace our steps?
Gone. Let me tell you the truth. There are some of your cousins you don't know.
True.
Yes.
Some of your cousins that you don't know.
True.
And it wasn't like that?
It wasn't like that.
All right.
So I don't think there is a way we can go back to our old ways.
So I'm alone. I'm on my own as far as this optimistic mindset.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for doing me the honor of being on the show with me today. It's been an amazing show indeed. And I'm hoping that everyone who is affected by this is learning a thing or two, or has learned a thing or two so far. Communal living is who we are as Africans. Yes. This is our identity. We are not the type that should be so comfortable living individualistically. Your business should be my business. Of course, like Mr. Foster said, that also has its own downside, but I think we should focus more on the positives than the negatives. Well, it's been an amazing show, and I want to say a big thank you to every single one of you out there for being with us from start to finish. My name is Harry Aigboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, do the right thing, stay out of trouble, and bye for now.